Yeah, I think we are good now.
So, okay. So we can start, right? Can you
Yes,
hear me,
sir.
everyone?
Yes, sir.
Hear me? Can you hear me? Because I can't hear anybody.
Yes, sir.
You see, I can see you. Oh, probably I muted. Yeah. Sorry, I muted my system. Hello.
Hello.
Okay, good. Sorry, I was the one that ended the meeting. I wanted to leave. I don't know that I clicked end the meeting. That was my fault. Sorry. Okay, we are back to life now.
Yeah, should I go ahead?
Yes, sir.
We are
Yeah,
back
so
to life.
today,
I will, I don't know what to do, but I will try. I'll make Dr. Olabi and Christy a co-host. Then I will leave and join with since I'm using my system to go live. I hope if I leave and now it will not cut off like the other time. If you can hear me, please speak out before I go. Dr. Olabi, can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you.
Good. Can you? I want to leave now. I hope. Yeah, leave instead of ending the meeting. Leave. Okay. You want me to? Okay, I will assign Dr. Olabi as a host.
Yeah, I think we're fine. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so today, briefly, we will be talking about multidisciplinary research, incorporating insight from various fields to strengthen research. And what we have to do if we want to explore this particular title, we will first of all look at what multidisciplinary research means. Then we go to, how this disciplinary research can get incorporated, in bringing good research outcome. Now, so I will define what multidisciplinary research is. It's a collaborative approach in which researchers from different academic disciplines work together to address a common research problem. Meaning each discipline contributes its own theories, methods, tools, and perspective, but generally, of course, they remain within their own area of expertise. So it meaning that they are not having a kind of uniform method or kind of uniform theories, but they still maintain their own theories, their own method, their own perspective, but still bring good result into the research. So they combine the knowledge from all these multiple academic disciplines, addressing complex scientific and societal problems, so which encourages collaborations and give an output for an impactful solution to scientific problems or to major problems. But in this context, we can be talking about scientific problems. So it is an approach that brings together experts from different fields, and there are some key characteristics that they have. So each discipline definitely, just like I said, retains its own theoretical frameworks. And the goal is usually to create a comprehensive understanding by combining distinct pieces, you know, and that each expert provide a perspective that the other people lacks. So it means you are bringing you have different disciplines. This one is bringing his own knowledge. The other one is bringing his own knowledge. The other one, three, four, five, six, seven, eight disciplines coming together, bringing their own knowledge, and making impact. So the collaboration in this multidisciplinary research work is well coordinated, while their findings are shared to achieve a shared objective. So the method themselves remain grounded in their respective fields, just like I said. Now, today's global challenge cannot be solved by one discipline, just like I put here. And that's why we have multidisciplinary research approach. So by the time we are getting to a certain level in this particular presentation, I will expose us to one or two cases, which you two will agree with me that it's very interesting to have a research that comes or go along with different disciplines. So multidisciplinary research uses interconnected discipline achieving its goal. For example, medicine, biologists, engineers, computer scientists, and even public health researchers can work together to perform a particular project, of course, still maintain their identity. As you can know, in medicine, you can be talking about the understanding of human anatomy, physiology, and biochemistry, that are the major instrument of what you have in medical school. And for a biologist too, you can study what happens from the cell to the tissue to the organ to the system, and looking at every other areas like that. The engineering too coming with its own design, then computer scientists coming with algorithm to decode a lot of signals and things to put into that particular research or the particular interest. So, and also too, people who makes policies, of course, can also be connected to a particular research. So multidisciplinary research makes use of all these interconnected disciplines. So if those disciplines are not connected, then there won't be any meaningful inputs. All right. So moving forward, there are 4 collaborative framework spectrum. So this will enable us to understand what multidisciplinary means. And they are categorized as monodisciplinary, multidisciplinary, then interdisciplinary, as well as transdisciplinary. So for mono, as it sounds, it is mono. It means one single discipline, like maybe in physiology. So you cannot have people in the same discipline, in the same field, working together. You understand? So which give a kind of deep specialization within that field. So you can have, in the case of someone, maybe a lab working on cardiovascular, you can have some people, involving in the echo and doing some other, maybe remodeling and some other input within that same lab. We talk about the fibroblast, the effect of that fibroblast in cardiac research. So there are a lot of people that are on probably research on fibroblasts. There are some that are on, looking at what is happening at the cellular level, then what is happening on this particular pathway, doing this and doing that within that same level. So you still have the same discipline working on the same area of interest or subjects. Then we can have multidisciplinary. This multidisciplinary is really parallel. Parallel meaning that they can't meet. But for monodisciplinary, it means these people come together from the different areas, they come together, but they you get a kind of unified method to approach a particular problem or to approach a particular research. But in parallel contribution, which is multidisciplinary, it's people having their own interest. Their own interest is what they focus, but they are bringing value to the research because of their own special area. So they don't they don't come together with the same method, with bringing together the same methodology. They go their own different ways with their own different methods. So they are independent. So, so then it makes their outcome to be additive, which is multifaceted, problem analysis. Then we can have interdisciplinary. So interdisciplinary, yeah, it blended across field research techniques. So using technique from a particular research area, then using another research method or another research technique in another department or with the other department too. If you can have two, three departments, having a research together, but they are very close, which is not as what we have in multidisciplinary. So we can have transdisciplinary, which invariably combines majorly the academic and the non-academic together and still bringing out some good outcomes. So which involves improving the society or the systemic societal impact and bringing a lot about some innovation into the public domain. So therefore, in multidisciplinary research, it is important to embrace the key pillars of research synergy, which include these cross-domain methods, that is adapting advanced instruments and experimental protocols from one field to uncover new biological or physical discovery in another. Of course, to diverse cognitive models involving computational, empirical, and quantitative ways of thinking. Then sharing of their infrastructure, it means leveraging data repositories. So it means, despite the fact that their research is parallel, they still have a central repository so that each person or each discipline or each individual involved in this particular research will be able to have access to the data or to any information that is needed at any point in time. So this is because diverse expertise, shared research goal, collaborative decision making, and integration of multiple methodology as well as open communication innovation are part of what is characterized by multidisciplinary research. So from there, we have various benefits of this multidisciplinary research. Part of those benefits are to better understand some complex system. Part of what I'm going to discuss with you briefly later as a case study is what happened during COVID-19. And in fact, for a few months, everything was able to take care because of putting it together from different disciplines, exhibiting this multidisciplinary approach of research. So there's more comprehensive research questions, and of course, in the improved methodology, high quality evidence. Then we can have some professional, at the professional level too, we can have a better collaboration, which is in form of a bigger collaboration across disciplines. So which of course increase funding opportunities. And once the funding opportunity is there, in fact, to get a good research done, the possibility is on the very, very high side. And it's been said that even those research that have been done by multidisciplinary interest has a high citation of 3.4. higher than the normal which you have from a particular discipline, So it gives higher publication impact as well as the expansion of a professional network. And from this next slide, we will see the trend from where we have this corporate grant funding trends. So in multidisciplinary research, because of different areas and different approach to problems, there is a kind of increase in funding, just like I said. So if you look at this now, you can see from 2018 to 2026, you can see the rate at which the funding, the increase of the funding is over past 8 years, which is about 140%, 145 rather, percent over the past 8 years. So it's interesting if you have people coming from different areas, addressing a particular problem. Now, I'll give some cases. I'll give 2 cases, and we'll continue from there. The first case I'm going to give is the case of cardiorenal. Cardiorenal has to do with the complex spectrum of disorders where you can have acute or chronic dysfunction in either the heart or the kidney, which invariably induces acute or chronic dysfunction in the other. So it's either it comes from the heart to the kidney or from the kidney to the heart. So we have about 5 types of this cardiorenal syndrome. The first one is whether from the heart to the kidney, that's acute cardiorenal syndrome. Then we can have chronic cardiorenal syndrome, which is from the heart to the kidney. Then you can have from the kidney to the heart, which is acute renal cardio, called down renal cardio. If it's coming from the kidney. Then we can have chronic also, which is the 4th one. Then we can have systemic. There can be a systemic cardiorenal syndrome. So these are the 5 types that we have. So historically, cardiology and nephrology operated in different clinical settings. So often leading to a kind of conflicting therapeutic strategies in the management of this syndrome. So such as aggressive diuresis to relative pulmonary congestion causing acute kidney injury, and study investigating the effect of certain intervention or cardiorenal syndrome possibly will involve the cardiology, nephrology. Now, I'm talking about multidisciplinary research now. So molecular biologists, the immunologists, the people with proteomics or who are working on proteomics, nutritional scientists, the bioinformatics people, as well as even the biostat people, and invariably even the public health system. So, and in this way now, if you look at this chart, you see cardiology work on optimizing cardiac output, reducing venous congestion and managing the cardiac remodeling in this case. Then you can have the protection of tubular and glomerular functions, and managing ultrafiltration and optimizing fluid removal by nephrologists, because that's their area. Then the pharmacology too can provide some markers or where we can address a particular pathway we can address, and that will help to stall the effect of the cardiorenal syndrome. Then about biomedical engineering expertise can help to develop some wearable and implantable hemodynamic sensors, to work for such patients. So people from bioinformatics and machine learners can help in clustering heterogeneous CRS patients the CRS, cardiorenal syndrome, patient population into actionable phenotypes for target therapy. And there can be a kind of establishing multidisciplinary cardiorenal clinic to prevent rehospitalization, because in the case of cardiorenal, rehospitalization is very, very high. So, and traditional metrics in addressing these as such as maybe use the use of serum creatinine lag behind structural kidney injury. So making early detection of cardiorenal injury extremely difficult during acute compensated heart failure. So there can be a lot of issue with it because it is bidirectional. What affects what when you are trying to address what has happened in the heart, you need to like at the same time look at the response of that of a kidney. So treating fluid overload in heart failure with high-dose loop diuretics can lead to hypovolemia. That is a kind of reduction in the fluid of the system. So this approach will help the system, to get a kind of good and established way to solve this particular problem. And another one that I would like to mention is the case of COVID-19, that is the mRNA vaccine breakthrough. We saw sometimes that's about 5-6 years ago now, the development of this COVID-19 vaccine represent one of the most rapid and impactful scientific achievements in human history. Yeah, we know what happened. It was developed, tested, and authorized in under 10 months. Under 10 months, because it involves a lot of people, to address or addressing the situation. And historically, something like this, the making of vaccine has been historically said to take about 10 to 15 years before they could, get how, to arrive at a point to getting a vaccine. So this breakthrough was not the result of a single discovery or isolated discipline, as you can see. So rather, it was the culmination of 3 decades of cross-disciplinary convergence. So involving molecular virology or structural biology and virology, the people that was with nanotechnology, the computational biology and bioinformatics, even engineering too, as well as biostatistics, and even clinical analytics. So all of them were involved in this. So, and the core expertise as well as the critical contribution of these vaccines are what you see on this slide. So from structural biologists or biology helps to stabilization of the perfusion spike the spike protein, which contribute to the COVID-19. So also we have the nanotechnology creating ionizable lipid nanoparticles to protect this fragile mRNA, and also optimization by the computer or bioinformatics people for, to work on the immune destruction and how to get to build the translation, as well as scaling up synthesis for micrograms by the engineers, and rapid phase 1 to phase 3 in the clinics to see what happens to those who receive this vaccine, if it is working and if it is not working. And at the end of the day, after testing, we realized that it worked. And you can see that it's as a result of different people from different area of expertise coming together to address a particular public issue or a particular public problem. So, and as you can see, said only one department or only one research area they don't take this glory. Everybody takes all the glory. Takes the glory of this particular research in the sense that the people who were saved from COVID-19 from dying, is a way of contributing to the entire society. So they are helping the society to build and to help to solve issues. So if it is probably one area of expertise or one area or monodiscipline, they are working on a particular thing before they can, incorporate or integrate into other ones. It's going to take like 10 to 15 years to be able to arrive at a good point. A lot of people will have been affected. A lot of people will have died out of this. And for your information, I think time of first clinical batch that was done by the clinicians when they were testing this was just about 42 days after sequencing of that SARS-CoV COVID-2. And that was like 42 days that was published online. So after then, billions of doses were formulated and distributed globally within 18 months across the globe. So, and we know, it was reported that it has about 95% efficacy achieved even in the phase 3 of the trial. So we can see how different disciplines complement each other. And so from here, of course, there are a lot of problems or challenges that face multidisciplinary research. So it's not that it is just rosy or it is just very sweet. Of course, there are challenges, there are bottlenecks, there are a lot of things that we need to overcome to be able to achieve all this and to be able to be victorious. Now, one of the thing is we call jargon, or it is linguistic and jargon mismatches. And how do I mean, or what do I mean? Like, for example, that I gave here, we say that model in physics is different from model in biology and is different from model in data science. So when model is used, it can mean a lot of things to different people, because since this particular language is, or it means different thing in different disciplines, then this has to be taken care of. So, and that's why there has to be a kind of uniform, a unified platform where all these must be defined so that everybody will be on the same page. By the time you are saying this, we are talking about a particular language, then everybody is carried along that this is the meaning of what is being told. Or if not, it can create a kind of mismatches, and a lot of which can indicate a lot of bring a wrong information to fellow people who are involved in that research. Then, of course, there can be problem with institution, because the way academic structures are in institutions differs. So there are some institutions that probably they may need to sign or to have a kind of the way they do their own budgeting, or the way they incorporate, or the way they do the way the way they operate. Because right here in the US, the universities, the management, and the way they do things, even in application of research, it differs. There are a lot of differences in them. For my university, there's what is called 10-5-2 rule, 2 days rule. Meaning, if you want to do a research and you want to submit a proposal, of course, generally it is not the person that wrote the proposal that is going to be responsible for the submission. The university is responsible for the submission of any proposal. So once you know that the university is responsible, then there is a timeline that is being given to individual that this so number of time this and these are what is expected of you to have been submitted to this particular office. So there's an office that is taking care of that area for submission. So what I'm now saying is that what obtains in a particular university may not obtain in the other university. So all these has to be brought to the table for address so that once it is addressed, then all of them, people who are involved in this research will be on the same page. Then, when we talk about peer review and funding bias, in as much that funding, just like I said earlier, increases over the years, there are still some bottlenecks too with peer reviewing because someone can possibly be reviewing, and since that person is only restricted to a particular area of research, so the other areas that is being spelled out from the proposal might not be something that is well understood or that will be well understand by the person reviewing it. So there can be a problem. And if only one person is, even if you have three people, because it's usually three people that reviews or three or more, depending on the availability, but you can have people in the same field reviewing that. So there will still be some phase or some areas that will not be, those people will not have the knowledge. So this can be a problem too, which invariably can affect the funding. So of course, with this, it means monodisciplinary grant reviewers, in this case, can get easily funded. But this is one of a major issue that is affecting multidisciplinary research. And of course, also the fourth one here is credit and allocation of interest, which is called institutional or intellectual property. That's the IP, the intellectual property allocation. So authorship of the product or the results you are getting out of this research must be defined from the beginning. So somebody who's going to be the first author, or maybe it's going to be everybody according to the name, according to the alphabet, that's the name, that's how it's going to do it. Or there will be somebody who's going to be defined to be the first author, the second, the third, the fourth, and all that, so that there won't be conflicts at the end of the day. So with these, we put some strategies forward for this team success. So since we know that communication, credit allocation, and funding obstacles, and some other dynamics can be a major problem. So just like I said, it is recommended to mitigate this problem by creating a shared team taxonomy and glossaries. So, and put all these things in different phases too. The research, you have to put it in different phases. The researchers must try as much as possible to meet. It may not be physical, but possibly at times can be physical depending on the area. But, because of technology now, anybody at any place can, join any team to work, but because the meeting can always be held online. So we can establish binding authorship and agreement prior the research. So also the mechanism of co-authorship, and we can also recruit some other people into it if that is needed, because even if we have it as multidisciplinary, there can be some other people, some other cohorts that can be brought into play to make the research a success. So Meaning, if you want to like do some trials, there will be some people who will be recruited to go to probably to the clinic, get this sample, get that sample, and this and that. Of course, part of the person who is involved in that research will be part of those, I mean, will be one that is going to head that particular unit of that research, so that reports can also always be brought to the team, I mean, the team for discussion and for further, you know, looking into probably another way things can be done as they move on, or to checking the progress of that research. So I've given some provisions for ways in which we can initiate multidisciplinary projects. Because as scientists and as mentees, if depending on your own interests, I've been able to like open your eyes to see the way you can possibly get involved with other people, and it's going to be of help if we can from the I mean ab initio define or the identify to identify target problems that you want to work with. So once you're able to identify the problem that you want to work with, then you can recruit others. You can bring other people that you think are in different disciplines that can be involved and give, or you guys will be able to get a headway on the line of discussion. Then, just like I said, you can establish a shared terminology, joint objective, and working protocols. So once this is in place, now it's going to be easier or very easy to be successful as a team, and there won't be any major bottleneck. Of course, along the line, there can be some things that probably you may need to be spelled out, but the conflict will not be too glaring, and it will be very, very easy to trash at the end of the day. So then to execute now, that will be the third one. Then we can now launch parallel experiments and do, depending on the area of each person, then you possibly, plan how to, to do the research. This area, so person is going to take this, take care of this. Somebody in this other area will take care of this. So, and will give us, by the time, maybe once in a month or possibly uh, twice a month, meeting can be held and progress can also be shared. So, before the meeting too, of course, the result gotten by a particular set of people or a particular research team can share on the particular platform, which is a joint platform that can easily be accessed or can other people have access to, so that even before the meeting, they can easily go through what they have there, and they can as well give themselves a kind of a time point that things need to be carried out, because time is very, very essential. Just like I told you, you can see what happened in the case of COVID-19, and we're able to like get out of it very fast. So it's a kind of interesting thing to be involved in multidisciplinary research. So by and large, I want to like conclude by giving us this takeaway from what we have had. Our line of discussion today, that problems or complex problems requires diverse expertise. So, and that collaboration improves innovation and integration strengthens research quality. The multidisciplinary teams increases research. And I would say the future of science is collaborative. So that is when we can have a lot of solution to a lot of problems. So thank you. This is where I will draw the curtain of this particular presentation. So as I say, the greatest breakthrough occurs at the intersection of disciplines. So it is always good for us to consider different areas so that we can have a robust research. And it's going to be, in fact, by the time you are exposed to another person's area too, by the time you are discussing, you have a kind of knowledge and you learn again from another area which possibly you are a novice. And from there, you may not even make use of that particular knowledge, even while whatever you are doing at that moment is in play. But some other areas too can be applicable to anything that you want to do, as is commonly said that no knowledge is lost. So even things that you think are not meaningful sometimes, when you get the knowledge, just like you are here on this platform, some of you may not go into academics, some of you may go into industry, you may go into some other areas. But the knowledge that you've had during your year with AYS, of course, one way or the other, you will see in the nearest future that is going to be applicable in some other areas that probably you least expect. So thank you for having me. And if you have any question, you can please let me know. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Olabiyi, for such an insightful and thought-provoking presentation. Your discussion has highlighted the importance of integrating perspectives across disciplines to strengthen scientific inquiry and address increasingly complex research questions. So, as Doctor said, we'll now move to question and answer. If anyone has any question, feel free to ask. I don't know why I can't access the chat session. So just unmute and ask your question. Okay, if nobody has anything
There's
to
no
say,
question. There's
then
no question in the chat box.
I can't even access it. I don't know why, but it seems there's no question.
So I think maybe when you made a co-host, I don't know.
Yes,
So if you're a co-host, I think you should be able to access that.
it's not going. I'm trying, it's not going. Even the participants, I cannot see.
Yeah, I can see participants, 23 of them. So please, you can ask your question. It can be a kind of, it may not be a question too. You can have one or two things to probably use in supporting what has been discussed. So we are just here, let's talk and brainstorm and discuss together. So it may not be in form of question, it may be in form of you trying to stress more on what I've said, or probably putting us in another line and making us to understand some other area that you think is going to be valuable to us as individual and as people together involving in multidisciplinary research. So, well, I don't know. I think I can stop sharing now.
Okay, if nobody has anything to say, then we've come to the end of today's webinar. I would like to express our sincere appreciation to our speaker, Dr. Olabi, for sharing such valuable knowledge. Your presentation has reminded us that scientific excellence increasingly depends on collaboration across disciplines and openness to diverse methodologies. Thank you, everyone here present, for your engagement, and we are together encouraged to continue building collaborations that bridge disciplines and institutions, as these partnerships are often the foundation of innovative and impactful research. On behalf of the AYSMP Organizing Committee, thank you once again for being part of today's session. We wish you continued success in your research, your collaborations, and your professional endeavors. Dr. Adeniyi, I don't know if you have something to say.
Yeah, thank you. That's why I joined. I was on YouTube before. Yes. Thank you, Dr. Olabi. Yes, this talk is very, very important. Many of you may not understand it, you may not appreciate it, but it's very, very important because collaboration is very important. But when you are to collaborate, you must set up some real guide that will protect you and protect people working with you. Therefore, when you want to collaborate with others, please make sure you all agree on the standard, on the rules of the game before you start. Don't go into the middle. And if I say at the middle point, if there's any reason for you to change what you have agreed on, call for a meeting. Call for a meeting. And if there will be a discontinuation of the relationship, let it be done officially as it is stated at the beginning of the collaboration. Please make sure that is well done, because many people don't understand that it can be harsh at the beginning. If you want to collaborate with me, we have to sit down. If I want to collaborate with you, I have to sit down and have a meeting. And what is the time of, and conditions of this? Who will do what? Who will do A and B, and then after that, what happened? If you are to bring anyone, then what? How do we? What is the criteria for bringing him? You have to enter it as a contractual agreement, and always document those things. Because you can't trust everybody, any other person, absolutely. Because if you are publishing a paper, for instance, and you have to make sure that you archive all your data, how you analyze them, just in case the paper, the persons, the other lab they were negligent, and the paper is to be pulled down. Then you can write the editor and tell your own story, and that will clear your names. And many other things too. There will be financial appropriation issue, but if those things are well spelled out, your collaborations, you will be able to save your own side. Many people get it wrong because they did not state the. I don't know how many of you know the story of the DNA structure determinations, and that is still ranging up to today. Even when the Wilson died of recent, that matter came up again because we were told that someone, it was a lady that who actually captured the X-ray of the structure of the DNA strand. But and he showed it to someone who showed it to him, and then they use it. And the lady died. I think it's in the end, around 30s. People believe that that's one of the things that killed the lady. Therefore, you have to make sure before you share your data, make sure that person is trusted, is someone that you can trust, and because collaboration is very important, we know it, but how we collaborate matters, because some people are too competitive that they can do anything to win, and such people run away from them because they can destroy your career and they won't care because they believe it's a part of a game. Some people think life of other people are games, and it's not supposed to be. We are human before we are scientists. Don't forget that. When there is a data with you, they said, don't share the data, don't share it yet. If you are going to conference, let the data be out. If you discuss with someone, just make sure you just say it in paraphrase. If you have to say it, if not, please keep it. Make sure you are diligent in what you do, but most important, your integrity should be above board. And about 5 years ago, there was a data that was shared, the data, and they said, who are the most trusted people in the world? Do you know scientists were number one? Scientists actually rated better than even the religious leader. Can you believe that? Therefore, it is the pattern has been passed to us. I don't know what COVID did. Probably the people will feel different after COVID. But one thing I know is that we are among the most trusted people in the world. Therefore, you don't break the chain. And don't forget that the chain is the strongest. The only one chain, no matter how long and strong the chain is, only one link can break that chain. And you don't be the link. Keep the strength of our chain, and we will all be happy for that. I hope that helps someone. Yeah, there's a question here. Christy, do you see that?
I can't access the chat box.
Okay, Subari said, is there ethical concerns such as confidentiality on sharing drafts as we collaborate? Yes, that's what I just said. He said, any strategy to handle ideal teammate that attenuates the spirit of the team, particularly so-called after John's grant writing. I can't unmute anymore. Okay, yeah, doctor, you can't unmute because because I reclaim the host from here. Let me go back. I think the meeting is over anyway. Let me see if I can enable everybody to unmute. Yeah, just raise your hands up if you want to mute because I'm on my phone. Then I can unmute you if you want to. That helped me to see you. Okay. Okay, I'll make you a co-host again, Dr. Alabi. Yeah, let me go back to your question. The question you ask, if any, I've answered it anyway. My contribution. If anybody break the chain, just halt the progress, call for the meeting. Right? Halt the progress. Even if you have to send the paper out tomorrow, if you have to send a grant out tomorrow, but you are talking about when someone has already won the grant. Well, it's surprising, but those are the lessons. I learned that lesson as well. Therefore, if you win a grant, and someone want to disrupt it, you just have to make sure that you go back, call for the meeting. You have mentors, discuss with your mentor. This has just happened. But what you need to do is to pause. Don't try to aggravate the matter. Pause, discuss it with your mentor, and approach that person. And if it's very unethical thing, there are different kinds of what human being can do. If person has spent the money, let me create two scenarios. Let's assume someone has spent the money for something that you did not, wasn't part of the project, and you people did not agree on that. Then you have to probably communicate if you are in that position. If you are equal partner, because the discussion we are talking about, you may be the student in this matter. If you are equal partner, if it was an equal partner, then you talk to the person who's in charge of the money to pause, and then until you have meeting. But if the money has been spent, then discuss it again, that will not happen again, and see how you can amend that situation. But most importantly, always take your mentors along. Is that okay? I believe Dr. Alabi may have something to say.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Adini. I appreciate your contribution. You've said it all. But I just want to like come to the level of the people we are talking to, because I think it's not at their stage. If an academics, like wherever or wherever you are, you may not have access to fund, but we are talking to funding because majorly of where we are, and if we're looking at something big, you can be thinking of funding. But I remember when we started, we were using our money to do some research, which is a personal money. The university doesn't give any money. Nobody is giving any money to anybody. Except I know there is ITF, or is it ITF or PDF, I mean PTF or some other form that the Nigeria government is giving, which some people too, there's a way they pocket it, they won't even use it to do what it's meant for. Yeah, but that is just by the way. Now, even if you are coming together as scientists or as uh, trying to like get something done and you want to use some personal money, there should be an agreement. There should be an agreement. And even by the time you have that agreement, if there's any deviation from that agreement, of course, you should try to address it. If you don't address it, don't let it just be there. Don't let it just linger, but try as much as possible to be able to address it at that moment. And make sure that everybody is truthful and they are very responsible to to the goal of that uh, team. So once you are a team and you know this is what you are bringing and this is what the other person is bringing, the time of meeting, the meeting should be consistent. Not that one person will say he doesn't have the time today and doesn't have time tomorrow and doesn't have. So by the time you are doing that, it means the seriousness is no more there. So I'm just trying to like come lower to the level of maybe of where we are in Africa, because a lot of things can happen. And if you are disturbed or you have a question over some issues, it's better you trash it. Don't say let me just keep it within myself or within me, and I'll just be looking at what is happening. Or because as things unfold, you may not like what will happen invariably. So if you are not careful, so because people, depending on whatever you do together, that's the way you get to trust people more. But averagely, people, you have to like think like an African, as in general, just like who we are, that you don't just trust people 100% like that, but participate and make sure you guys live by whatever you have been able to line up for that particular purpose or for that teamwork. So, because there can be some people who will possibly behave like a Judas. So, but if you know what you want to do, you can still get the person to yourself, to your side, or opt out of that particular group. So, but you have to, it's not a matter of fights, but it's a matter of understanding and saying and trashing things out and communicating. Yeah. So it's a matter of it communicating together to see and just, you know, do a kind of review depending on your timeline, and you're going to get to a certain point or to a point which you think is going to be fine for you. So I think that's what I can say on that. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, let me add two things. One thing, number one thing you should know, you are the most important person when it comes to your research. Nobody is more important than you in your research than you as a scientist, because you are there. That's why that research exists. It doesn't mean that if you are not doing the research, nobody can do it. But that particular thing, which you are currently doing, you are the most important thing. Second, as a scientist, well, next to that is your integrity is the next. Therefore, you have to stay healthy as a scientist. Number two, keep your integrity intact. Any other thing can be lost. You can't lose those two things. Therefore, you can't lose your life because of science, and you must not lose your integrity because of collaboration. Therefore, your life is important. Take care of yourself. Number two, your integrity is very important. No collaboration is compulsory if you lose your integrity. Therefore, keep your integrity intact. If the person is not ready to do it the way it's supposed to be done, ethically, quit. That money, you can get it back. You can get another grant. You get another grant. You don't want to face a disciplinary action and your name to be tarnished. And as a scientist, we are all one. No matter the race, no matter the location, no matter the language you speak, we are all one because we meet in conferences. Someone knows someone who knows someone that knows you. Therefore, keep your integrity intact. When you collaborate, make sure you are not the one that break the chain. Thank you. Christy, I'm done. I think we are done. Is no more question?
Yes, sir. We have come to the end of today's session.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
From here.